Thank you for clicking on this video. Welcome back to another episode of Moonacre Creations. If you're new here, my name is Megan and I make fantasy art and costumes of all kinds. So for today's project, I'm doing one that's been in my book for a long time, and it's gonna be a very beautiful duster, I think is what they're called, where it's kind of like a corset bodice mixed with a skirt on the sides, and you kind of wear it like a vest and then lace up the front as kind of like an overcoat kind of thing. So here's the drawing. I'll put this on screen for you. And basically what we're going to be doing is making the overcoat. This actually is going to be a really long video, so I might do two parts. First is going to be the part for me, and then I'm making a matching set for my partner, because I think when couples match at the Renaissance Fair that is really cunty. Today we're going to be making the over part, the duster. That's going to be the teal, and then I have it in pink in the drawing, but I think I'm actually going to switch to orange because I think orange would be much more flattering with the teal I have, and I'm actually going to use this underdress here to match because I held them up and they look great. So I think I'll do pink. Sometimes it's very versatile. I can match it around with all sorts of other colors of dresses, but that's going to be the look for this one. But the entirety of the project is going to be the duster, a doublet for my partner, a matching Escoffion for me, which is a double-horned hennin, double-horned princess hat, a matching pirate hat for him with an orange feather that will tie into the rest of the look, and we're going to look really good. Let's just get started with the duster. Here's the teal fabric that I have to make, this is gonna be my main fashion fabric. Very beautiful. It's got beautiful, I think you'd call it brocade. I'm not exactly sure, a bunch of swirly stuff going on. And the teal is so beautiful. I went to a discount fabric outlet and I got 6 yards of this. So I got this to be the liner. This is actually Joann's fabric before our dearly departed closed down. It's good for liner fabrics because it's just a simple floral print. I love to have a micro floral print on the inside. I think it's very cute. I don't really have any other fabric to show you now because it's just going to be orange gauze like this, maybe some chiffon for my Escoffion veil, but other than that, this is going to be our only fabric selection. So let's get started with making the bodice of the duster. So I have my normal corset pattern, bodice pattern. I adjusted it slightly so it's a little bit more tight on the waist and then super loose on the upper. I learned that Victorian corsets, corsets that were used for their intended purpose, were only restrictive on the waist, and then the hips and the bust were completely loose and free breathing, which I think is probably a really good idea because I have been having a problem at the Ren Fair where it's a little bit too tight. It's hot as balls out and I'm boiling, and it would be helpful if I could breathe right. I adjusted it by about a ½ inch in the bust region to account for that. If you need a corset pattern, I'll link some from Etsy below that I used when I was a beginner before I made my own, and you can use those because they're really not that different. So let's get started by cutting out all of our pattern pieces. I've just installed a new cutting table in my basement. I got a really juicy table from Habitat for Humanity, and I invested in a big cutting mat so I don't have to cut ratchetly on the floor anymore. I can cut on this juicy table. So I can also use a roller instead of scissors for poor people. And so I'm gonna lay out all of my fashion fabric and then the liner and make 2 sets and then sew each side together, and that's where we are. The fabric doesn't really have a stretch in either direction. likely because it's upholstery fabric, but it does have kind of like a grain going vertically, so I made sure to cut my pattern pieces with the grain going up and down vertical, so that it'll be a little bit more flattering, and I think it'll make it look better. Also, I'm watching Poldark right now for the first time, and are you so jealous or what? Because I'm actually really loving it. Also, so random, I didn't realize that Poldark was Keeley till like a minute ago, but Francis just died, which is awesome because I hated his ass. So I finished assembling both halves of the bodice with the fashion fabric and liner, so now I'm going to sew all along the top edge of each piece to combine them together, and I'm going to do that with wrong sides out. I've just made these little sleeves. They're gonna kind of flare out on the shoulder and cut like a strong shoulder. I've never made them like this before, but what I think I'm gonna do is attach them directly to the bodice in the front and then have a D-ring in the back that they'll loop through and connect with Velcro. Most of the time I would use a tree glide to close it and make it adjustable, but I think the Velcro will make it appear more flat, and it is easier to adjust it that way by yourself when all you need to do is pull the Velcro and pat it down and it'll stay. I've done it on one other bodice and I think it will work for this one fine, and it'll be pretty much invisible. So this is kind of what it is looking like right now. All attached. I have some pieces of trim by where it ties up, and I added this extra flare on the hip because I saw it in Pole Dark. And the sleeves have a little flare on the top. They're attached. I accidentally made them too long, so I did have to fold them over, which doesn't look very good. So I think I'm gonna attach a little ring, like right here, and it'll kind of make it look intentional. And so the back is laced up, and then that's gonna be permanently laced, like a fake lace, and then it'll be secured. And then I have some trim on the side back there to kind of match the front. So I'm going to be making the skirt out of the same material, keeping these lines going vertical. You can see that. Keeping the lines vertical, and I'm going to make it like T-length, like mid-calf length, and that way it'll kind of float above the rest of the dress, kind of bellow in the wind is what I'm going for. I think I'm also going to add a flounce to the bottom of the skirt because it'll be very pretty. So all I've got to do to make it is cut it to length. I'm probably going to do 3 times the length that I'm wanting to go, which it's going to attach like right here and here, and then around the back. So whatever that distance is, I don't have my measuring tape here right now, but 3 times that distance, and then I'll be pleating it down and adding a little bit of elastic to keep it up, and then it'll kind of just rest like that when I am wearing it. So this is kind of what it looks like right now. I have my stretchy waistband, and it joins in the front with the little clip here. And then I've been wearing the bodice this whole time like a vest, but I'm gonna be putting them together. You guys can see what they look like when they're on, but I think the final thing I'm gonna do for this like clothing part of the outfit be to add a bow in the back because it kind of looks strange. You'll see what it looks like. The back of the bodice is flat and the front is pointed, so it looks much more flattering in the front with the little side piece on it kind of coming down into the basque waist, but in the back it's flat and it looks strange, so I thought to fix that and cover it a bit I'm gonna add a really cute bow. The best way I could describe how I make bows is I don't tie them, I kind of make like a pillowcase, one for the top area, like one pillowcase like that, and I sew all around it, and then a longer one for the bottom, and then I bind them together with a strap that's sewn in the same way. So this piece is going to be the top of the bow, and I'm just going to fold it over, sew along the edge, kind of like a pillowcase, turn it inside out. The gap will be here and it'll be sewn here and here, and then it will be bound like this to make a bow with a strap around the middle. And I'm going to be using this longer piece sewn in the same way, except I'm going to make the ends into triangles, so it's like the bottom of the bow, and then leave a gap here to turn it inside out, and it will be brought together. This piece here that I'm sewing now is going to be the strap. It's just about 3 inches wide, and I'm going to sew this little sleeve and turn it inside out, and that'll be the center of the bow. For the Escoffion, I'm going to be making it a lot like this one. I've only made 2 Escoffions ever. This is the second one I made, although I am going to lengthen the cones about 2 inches because I'm really liking the taller versions of Escoffions that I've been seeing, and this one's a little bit more playful, but the one for this project I'm going to make it look a little bit more serious, maybe a little bit more professional. I'm going to be copying the same method, so I'm going to make basically a cap, and then the 2 horns are stuffed with used like fabric scraps that I collect from anytime I'm cutting. So I stuff these, they're kind of like pillows, and then there's a wooden dowel just right here in the back seam, and that keeps it super sturdily upright. Now that all of my pieces are constructed, I'm going to start sewing on the horns to the hat. I kind of like to put the cap on and then position them and then do my best to make sure they're symmetrical by doing little measurements like how far are they from the seams on either side and how far are they from the bottom to make sure that they are in the same spot on both sides. And then also I look at it from the top and I like turn it all around to make sure it's not like lopsided, because that would be really terrible to like, you need to have a good foundation. What it looks like right now, the trim on the front is white. I'm gonna make it off-white with a little bit of fabric paint. I didn't have it in ivory. I guess I can do that to show you how sturdy it is. This is like super like strong, and it is soft like a pillow on top, but it will hold up the weight of the veil, which would be what I have to put on last. I think I might add a couple beads like here and here to kind of make it look better, but it is going well. It fits pretty good and looks how I want it to look, so we're just gonna keep going along. And then I have a 100% silk chiffon veil to add that will match this tie. So I've just cut this veil out of the chiffon and I serged the edge and I made it a big 40 by 40 square. And I'm gonna be kind of folding that over on the corner like this and then attaching it to either point of the escoffion, and then I'm gonna put a little string of pearls between it because I think it would be very cute. And then that will be it for the escoffion, and then the rest of this project I think I'm going to do in a separate video, so we will be on the reveal. We're going to be judging her by our normal criteria, which is going to be visual appeal, function, cost, craftsmanship, and composition. And I will have some special things to say about the hennin because it has some issues. So let's start off with visual appeal. It's very striking because of the orange and blue. I ended up using this cotton dress I already had. I was thinking about making an orange undershirt, but I thought it would be like a waste of time because I already had this one that's so good. And so the blue and the orange are actually in the same tone and they look very good together. So visual appeal, I'm gonna say 6 out of 10. Also for visual appeal, the Escoffion is definitely gonna add a lot of impact to the outfit because it's very tall. The veil is extra large. If people see it from far away, it's going to be doing all sorts of this stuff in the wind, and that's going to look really good. So visual appeal, 6 out of 10. I saved my 10 out of 10s for things that are truly perfect, guys. So 6 is actually really good because it's better than 5, which would be average. It's a little bit heavy, and the Escoffion ended up being too heavy as well. The cones, I made a big mistake, you guys. The cones are stuffed with fabric scraps instead of stuffing because I was trying to reduce, reuse, recycle. But that actually made the horns too heavy and it fallen back on my head and given me a 7 head. And so I'm actually going to fix that by taking out the stuffing and replacing it with lightweight batting. If you are making something like this, remember to make your cones lightweight, otherwise it's gonna be like doing one of these. Especially in the wind. Oh my god, last year at the Ren Fair, my partner has a car that you can put the top down, and I wore my princess hat while it was driving with it like blowing in the wind, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna look so cool. And then as soon as we like went above 15 miles an hour, I was like, but anyway, I can see that happening. There's gonna be extra drag with this hennin if it's in some major wind because it's just like more to pull on. So I'm gonna have to make these horns lighter. I'll be doing that in a minute, just you wait. This freaking critique ain't over yet. You're getting bonus content of me fixing this damn thing. For function, I'm gonna dock points actually. This hoe's too heavy and I just can't rate it well if it's not functional. So I'm gonna say 4 out of 10 for function. I already know it's gonna be hot too. For cost, oh Jesus, I don't know, like I'll say 4 out of 10 too because this blue material I probably spent like $20 worth on just this piece, not even counting the menswear I'm gonna make with it too, and that's a lot higher than my normal costs, which I try to make be 0, so like outside of notions and stuff. Craftsmanship. This was my first time making a bodice of this type with this extra little flare here. So the pattern is a little bit weird on this side, and it's more flat on that side, but there's like a little bit of inconsistency in it. And the fit is very good. I will say that it's very BBLing and cinching on the waist, but it's not restricting the chest, which is a great thing. I normally would do French seams, but I saved a little bit of time by serging my edges on some of the insides, which I don't care about because nobody will see it. If I was selling something like this, I probably would do French seams, but it's just for me. I think this looks really good with the gimp here and the bow. But the bow is actually like a cover-up fix. I had it be basque waist in the front but not in the back, so when these little flappies came over, it looks kind of weird without the bow. I'm gonna say like 5 out of 10. I'll give her a 50% because I can nitpick it. If I can nitpick it, then it's not perfect, then it's not getting a good rating, okay? Definitely looks really expensive. Somebody see this, they're gonna go, wow, you spent thousands of dollars on it. And I'll say, actually, I made it myself. Composition. This kind of category is a little bit abstract, but I kind of classify it by how good the whole thing looks together, and it definitely looks really good. It's very striking. The color theory is eating because the orange and the blue are in the same tone. It has a lot of symmetrical features that I like. The little ring on each side, I could hang maybe a pocket watch or something off the ring. The flaps, I do like that detail to add in the future because it hides this kind of like ugly elastic waistline. Normally I gather my waistlines a little bit and then put a waistband on and then put the elastic through that, but I didn't gather it first, so this waistband is gathered a lot here at the hip, and you can tell I've been watching Poldark because all of their bodices, I think they're called jump. I don't know for sure. I think they're called jumps if they're historically accurate, but they always have little flappies on the bottom of their bodices, and I think it looked very good. So now it's time for our bonus content, and what I'm going to be doing is actually I'm going to make an incision in these horns, and I'm going to take out the batting that's in there, and I'm going to replace it with lightweight polyfill, and then I'm going to put it back together. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your viewership. Please consider liking and subscribing. If you don't mind, leave a comment. Let me know what you'd want to see from me in the future. I have a pretty fire dress planned for next week, and I think you guys are gonna love it. And honestly, I'm on a big Escoffion kick. So there's gonna be another one of these in the next video, and it's gonna be really cunt. So look forward to that, and have a great rest of your day.